Throughout the history of Krynn, there were a lot of powerful mages. We all know Rislin and Fizzdantantilus, as they were on the continent of Ansalon. Yet in the far continent of Taladas, there was one Archmage who ruled above all else, and that was Maladar An-Desh. Greetings and welcome back to my channel, guys. How are you doing today? I apologize for the long delay. It is, as you have seen in the previous video, technical issues. So in this video, we are going to talk about one of the most powerful Archmages on the continent of Taladas, Maladar An-Desh. Maladar sacrificed most of his face for magic, cutting out his own cheeks, eyes, ears, and nose, as well as most of his lower jaw. His face was a little more than a skull, with tangled bits of skin still attached in some places, and the stump of his tongue. Through his magic, he was still able to see, hear, and speak from within the shadow of his cloak that he usually wore. But on rare occasions, he enjoyed terrifying his enemies by revealing his face. In his early days, Maladar spent his time refining and building his power as a sorcerer, but at the same time he worked as a faithful servant of Heath, or Hidukul, on Ansalon. He was one of the minor warlords of the Emperor of Aurim, ruling over the southern province of Desh. However, he soon got bored of being only a warlord, and he used his considerable magical power to kill numerous other warlords and expanding his territory, eventually killing the emperor himself and crowning himself as the Emperor of Aurim. At this time, Aurim was the mightiest emperor in the entire continent of Taladas, and Maladar began his tyrannical rule, filled with atrocities against both his enemies and Aurim itself. One such atrocity was the Great Impalement, which was an event that he butchered many of the children of noblemen who rose up against him and failed. He also used devastating magic against several cities, crushing and destroying all who lived within. But like any mortal man, Maladar feared death. He had already prolonged his life by 2 centuries at least through his magic. Before starting to investigate other avenues, he called upon dozens of archmages to assist him in locking his spirit away in a statue, which would become known as the Hooded One. She was kept safe in a place by his followers to protect Maladar's spirit and to enact his resurrection if he would ever be killed. Now, following a series of atrocities and crimes against his own people, finally there was a response. And in 575 pre-cataclysm, the mightiest of his generals, the Seven Swords, rose against him in battle. They all fought valiantly against him, yet one by one they fell by his hand. After the battle, Maladar was offered wine by his cupbearer, a slave named Shai. Due to his state after the battle, he didn't notice that it was poisoned. The poison acted fast and killed him painfully, finally freeing the Empire of Aurim from his tyrannical rule. After he died, agents were sent out to find the Hooded One's statue to try and prevent him from ever returning to the world. But unfortunately, they could not find him, and he was forgotten for a millennia. Now, this should have been the end of Maladar and his impact on the world, but unfortunately his faithful servants kept the Hooded One safe for centuries, passing from hand to hand until the Cataclysm, where the statue vanished for centuries. But in the year 424 AC, it showed up in Cold Hope Keep, and then it fell into the possession of the moon thief Shadara. Shadara awakened Maladar's spirit, while Bereth Forlo and herself were under attack by the forces of the Ujian. She managed to use the power of the statue to summon a massive wave that completely crushed the Ujian forces, saving them. Unknowingly, this action led to a cataclysm of itself. Shortly after that victory, the Hooded One was retrieved by the Faceless Brethren, a fanatic group who are the followers of Maladar. They took the statue back into the jungles of Neron and to the temple of Aktazi. His followers attempted to fuse Maladar's spirit with the boy Azar Forlo, the son of Bereth. However, instead, Maladar's spirit was joined with Bereth himself. Alive once more, he planned to raise the Tower Chaldar in the Burning Sea. He also started raising an army so he could conquer the lands around the Burning Sea, creating his new empire of Aurim. Fortunately, in the winter of the following year, his plans came to a halt when the Ujian warrior Holt severed the cord linking his body and the statue, releasing Bareth from the influence of the statue. Maladar then found his spirit trapped within the Tower Chaldar, where he was left by his god, as a reminder of his failure, and now his spirit being tortured and tormented within the tower in the heart of the Burning Sea, yearning for freedom and revenge against his enemies. So we all hold our fingers, hoping that he will never break out. So thank you very much guys for watching until the end. I hope you enjoyed this video about one of the worst people on the continent of Taladas, and we will see you in the next one. Have a great day.